Alright, let's take a look at this. If this were my actual classroom, I would have, had all this ready to go on the stand before we started. But so I wanted to start the lesson by modeling the tunes so they know what they're listening for before we even start playing the Tekeli arrangement. Trying to give them some guidelines for imagery, for things to think about and imagine while I'm playing. I'm trying to play the tune as simply as possible because what I'm tackling is stylistic elements of it. So I don't want to give them anything. I'm trying to play it as straight as possible, just so they get the tune in their ear and it doesn't influence any of their ideas for the questioning we're going to do later. Yeah, I ran out of breath right there. Didn't model a very good decay.
Measure 12 of the Tekeli. We're actually going to pick up 12. And be listening for who has the tune I just played.
It's funny, the clarinets sound much louder on this video than I remember them sounding in class. I think at one point I might have even motioned over for them to play louder. But they sound fine right here. Obviously we're having some tone production issues in the horn. Yeah, it was hard to find a spot in the piece where everybody was playing. There were hardly any spots where the full ensemble was playing. So, I know Emily especially didn't play in that whole section. So that wasn't ideal. So, also with the lyric sheet, I kind of presented it to them as a surprise, so they were all very excited to finally get to look at it. Trying to kind of guide their thought process as they're reading over this sheet. I'm explaining a couple of things that they might not get right away.
Because they're all really happy in the verse, and then they cut you down in the chorus.
Also, I'm trying to get students to follow up their responses So if I ask them, like, what's the mood, and they say, whatever, trying to get them to explain why they think it's that mood, what musical elements or non-musical elements, like the words here, how that influences the mood of the music.
And then, but look, at the last line, what do we have?
So I started with more open-ended questions, like, what do you think? What are you imagining? What is the overall mood of the tune? And now I'm slowly starting to, like, isolate certain facets of it. So I was trying to go over, like, the form of the text and how it's, the verse and the chorus have different tenses, different moods to them. So that way we can apply those differences when we are rehearsing the tekeli. So they already said stuff about tempo and style. So I'm guiding them to, other musical elements. Like I asked them, what should the dynamic be? So that way they have multiple facets of musical expression, and we're addressing all of them, so that way everybody's on the same page and nobody's left to guess, like, oh, well, we're playing this, faster and, lifting it, but what's the dynamic? Should it be soft, loud? I don't know. So I'm making sure I try to address all the facets of the overall musical style as I can. I was about to start without tonicizing the room. It's a big no-no, but I caught myself. That would have been a disaster. Ooh, they have some nice voices in here. Yeah, the rhythm changes up there a bit. Other than that, it's mostly pretty straightforward. And they've already heard it a couple times because I played it and they played it in the tekeli. Yeah, they're singing with the weight that they talked about. A lot of emphasis at the front of the notes. And they're singing a louder dynamic, which is also another thing we discussed. So I just wanted them to... That's actually one of the strategies out of the book. Get people to sing for style. I mean, singing helps us internalize a lot of things. And even if they're, they're younger kids, maybe their ears aren't as developed, and they're not necessarily singing the right pitches, they can sing the right style, at least. And then, they can deal with the pitch once they put it back on the instrument. Although singing will help them improve their ears and pitch. But at the very least, you can get everybody on the same page with, how much accent here, how much lift here, etc. Before they try to, make their instrument obey what they've internalized. So I'm also trying to hold them to what they said to me. Remind them of, that conversation happened a few minutes ago by this point. I don't think we quite got the same emphasis on the front of the notes that we sang, but it's definitely more than the first run through after they just heard the tune. So I can tell they have at least somewhat internalized what I've been asked, they decided as a group to do with that. Ideally, I would have gotten to play the actual piece a little more, but I think it was good that they got a chance to understand the context of the tune, which gave them a lot of ideas about the mood and what they were expressing in the music. Because I know a lot of times we get these pieces in band and there's no words and there's just notes and rhythms on the page. And while we could be pretty expressive with just that, I feel like if you understand the background, the historical context, the text of whatever you're playing, etc., it really gives the students a lot of perspective as to how to play the music and how to be expressive with it. All right.